Katie, hi, how you doing? All right. Looks like you posted for Team Alex, and that consists, of course, of Alex, Brandon, and Katie. So thank you, Katie, for your post. Let's go ahead and take a look. I see. I watched the movie. The movie is great. Really nice job describing things, Katie. I think you did an excellent job with the video. I think it describes things to a high degree. So great job there. Don't worry about being over 39 seconds. I'm certainly not worried about it. So don't even bother going in to try to edit that down. I'm perfectly fine with that. Deep Dive Team Project. Let's go ahead and take a look at the process book. Okay, so I think the process book is really off to a fantastic start. I just have a few comments, but let me get in here and I just kind of want to bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead. All right, pictures would be great, guys. No, pictures, you know what they say. Pictures, pictures worth 1,000 words. Problem, this is a little bit, the problem and solution is a little bit, there's some areas in the writing I think that could be addressed. Okay, so the problem was we're trying to make an application stand from competition to mimic what the value of Tesla are. Is that the problem? I mean, I think that the deep dive indicates that the problem lies usually much deeper than the initial solution would indicate. So, for example, this project presumably is about designing a vehicle configurator kiosk, right? But deep dive immersion and design thinking and human-centered design kind of takes us to another level, a different plateau, if you will. And what that is we're really trying to determine what the underlying, the big picture problem is. And in this case, it's not the fact that it's not the fact that you're trying to make your application stand out. It's not the fact that you're trying to make a vehicle configurator. It's that we have an underlying problem with the way that the vehicles are purchased in this country. It's not human-centered. It's more directed towards the benefit of the dealership and the manufacturer than it is the benefit of the consumer. So we want to kind of transition this to identify a problem that's an industry-wide problem that is based on the way we purchase cars, not being a human-centered process. Okay, that's the problem. So we want to indicate that here. Okay, the whole problem with the car buying process of going in and being high pressure sales and not really knowing what the car's features are all the way and what the possibilities are for configuring what accessories are available, et cetera, et cetera. And all the while, we're under the high pressure of a person trying to get us to purchase now, right? So that's the main underlying problem. The solution is creating a vehicle configurator kiosk that you can access from a remote mobile app, and you can configure your car. You can set everything up without talking to a salesperson or a finance person, and then you can send that information over to the dealership. You can go in and plug that information in, and then you can start visualizing the car via the virtual reality or projection or whatever the situation might be. So that's the problem and the solution. So I really want you to think about rewriting this portion of the okay. And then also here we've got here this solution here, right here, there's an issue here too. We decided to use a solution because simplistic and clean elements are usually not being seen in the advertising. This will help us stand out and have a better experience for the consumer. Okay, okay, and then the solution here, this is a problem too. The solution we have a couple of is to make experience where can simulate how the car would drive with a video game. See, that's not going to work, guys, because a video game isn't going to give you a true drive. It would have to be a dedicated drive simulator. A video game wouldn't work because presumably this is something that would have to have hydraulics and it would have to be like a simulator to actually climb in and load the information in. So what kind of roads are you going to be simulating? What kind of tires, what kind of mileage on the vehicle, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't really experience the way a car drives with a video game. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we would need to feel the road and feel how the steering wheel turns based on the model, the truck, the actual truck. Do you see what I'm saying? So my recommendation is to kind of change gears on the problem solution statements. Okay, ideas. The initial ideas, tires, simulate customization. Again, I think if you address this after you come up with a new problem and solution. I think it'll be much more effective. Okay, so ideation, initial ideas. Tires, simulation, and comparison. Is that the initial idea? Isn't the initial idea to create a configurator where you can configure all of the elements of the car, all of the features that you want on your car? That would be the initial idea, right? Is to create a situation where you can remove a salesperson from the customization and the possible accessories associated with the car. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so initial idea wouldn't be tire simulation and comparison. Initial idea would be a way to improve the experience. Okay, then we go to influences. That's great. And then we jump right into our interface sketches, our different ideas. That's fantastic. Make a successful car. Research findings. I'm glad there's a second page here because this is a little bit misleading that maybe making a successful landing page and what makes a landing page can come after the market analysis. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that might be a little more effective. Target audience. And guys, by the way, add images. Don't forget to use images in your presentation. It's going to make it much, much more compelling. Okay, target audience. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, okay, so these are our target 18 to 60. 18, that's a little young for that price point, isn't it? I mean, this vehicle is probably 70, 80, 90,000, right? I think that's not a whole lot of 18-year-olds driving Teslas around. So you might consider doing a little bit further research on your target age demographic for Tesla. All, gender, race, all. Okay, I'll go with that. Car knowledge, none is required. Yeah, demographic, people that want electric truck. I would say some people who want cutting edge technology in an electric truck from a company that is, and then go into some of the attributes of Tesla as a highly, highly technical proficient company that's probably more forward thinking than other companies. So we want to include that in the demographic as well. Occupation, I would say probably, I guess any is fine. Okay, age 18. Okay, let's talk about, is he single or is he married? That's important. Does he have kids? Those are really important in the car buying process. It's really important. You want to include that. Also think about an image. Anna, 48. Again, is she single? Is she married? Does she have kids? That is so important in the car buying. So you want to add that to all of your personas. One thing I notice here, watch these things jump. These aren't gridded out. So if we go from this page to this page, you can see that the text stays the same. Everything remains the same except these jump around a little bit. So you want to make sure those adhere to a grid. Scenarios are good. It's looking at the exterior options used. Okay, good, 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 good. Ideas for sketches, tires. Okay, right. So yeah, so this sketch right here shows a screen in front of a kind of a little kind of look like a video game setup here where you sit in the seat. But what I'm thinking more of along the lines is an actual simulator that kind of opens up, you climb into it, it closes down beside you. It's got maybe a 360 screen around it or something like that. But it would have to be something that has hydraulics, remember, because we're simulating road driving conditions. Okay, wireframes are great. A little bit of jumping around there too, so you want to make sure that these are all gridded out, these pages. Simulation page. User testing, excellent. Clickable prototype. Guys, I clicked this a few times and I'm not getting it to work for me. So you definitely want to include a link also instead of just linking the logo, which is a great idea, but I just can't get that to work. Okay, screenshots for final product, excellent. And presumably these are the clickable prototype screens. That's great. So let's just make sure that we get that in there. Other than that, we need a citations page. And I would also like to see one page that kind of tells the story, so to speak. Okay, so basically a page that describes everything, that really describes to the viewer exactly what's going on in this, that you're not in this presentation, but in your solution. So in other words, you can start with, okay, so the potential customer opens a mobile app and accesses the configuration page, and then configures the car, sends it to the dealership. The dealership sends them a code back. Then when they make it into the dealership, they enter the code, and that retrieves their information. They're then able to send that information to the projection unit, which shows them a full size projection of their car, where they can walk around 360, see the inside, outside, life size, and see all of their choices in the configuration and make any changes. And then they can send that to the drive simulator, and then get into the pod and drive the simulator, and then they can make changes, and then they can make their financial calculations right there somehow through the interface, and they can send that information to the salesperson or the finance person, where they can make their final decision. So you just kind of want to tell the story, so to speak. Do you see what I'm saying? To make it really specifically clear to the viewer. And when I say the viewer, I mean potentially a hiring professional, if this piece makes it to your final student portfolio, and of course portfolio reviewers when that time comes in your student careers. Okay, so other than that, I think it's a great start. We need a research and citations page, and you guys are off to a good start. So really good job. Any questions at all, please let me know. It's Friday right now. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be in limited, very limited tomorrow, because I got one day to do Christmas shopping. That's it, tomorrow. That's it. So I probably won't be in the studio much tomorrow. So, but if you have any questions, go ahead and I'll be sure to get to them Sunday morning, or maybe even drop in tomorrow morning for a little while and see if there's any questions. All right, guys, great job. Thank you very much.